Welcome to the YouTube channel PCMB Tutorials. I hope you all are fine. Today we are going to learn class 9th physics chapter friction part 4. In this part we are going to learn about the factors affecting friction. Factors affecting friction. This frictional force always opposes the relative motion or attempted motion between two surfaces. First is nature of surfaces in contact. The frictional force depends on the roughness of two surfaces in contact. The more the roughness, more is the friction. अब फ्रिक्शन फोर्स के लिए फर्स्ट पॉइंट जो अफेक्ट करता है वो होता है नेचर ऑफ द सर्फेसेस इन कॉन्टैक्ट. नेचर ऑफ surfaces in contact. अगर कोई दो सरफेस कांटेक्ट में है और उनकी रफनेस कम है तो फ्रिक्शन फोर्स अप्लाई इतना नहीं होगा, पर अगर उन दोनों के सरफेस बहुत रफ है तो फिर फ्रिक्शन फोर्स बहुत अच्छे से काम करता है. तो वो रफनेस पे डिपेंड करता है, जितना ज्यादा रफनेस उतना ज्यादा फ्रिक्शन. Friction between two surfaces is greater than the friction between a rough surface and a smooth surface, and that is greater than friction between two smooth surfaces. Second is nature of material. Nature of material. The friction is more for the materials with greater coefficient of friction. जिसका म्यू ज्यादा होगा, म्यू कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ फ्रिक्शन ज्यादा होगा, उसका फ्रिक्शन ज्यादा अच्छे से होगा. Example, different materials have different friction. Iron block and wooden block have different frictions due to their nature. Third is area of contact. Area of contact. Friction is independent of the area of contact between two surfaces as long as normal reaction is same. So, friction never depends on area. Example, 1 kg of iron sheet with greater area will exert the same frictional force as 1 kg iron cube with lesser area. This is because the normal reaction of the two objects is the same. Fourth is normal reaction. Normal reaction. Friction is directly proportional to the normal reaction acting on the body. That is, more the normal friction, more is the frictional force. So normal reaction should be more, that the frictional force will be also more. Fifth is temperature and impurities. Temperature and impurities. The limiting friction depends on the temperature and impurities present between the surfaces. Now the next point, that is friction is a necessary evil. So why is friction called a necessary evil? Now first we are going to learn the disadvantages of friction, and then we will learn advantages of friction, and then we will differentiate that why it is important. So in disadvantages, first is engine power wastage. Engine power wastage. Friction is a non-conservative force, therefore energy is always lost in overwhelming frictional force. This loss is in terms of heat and sound energy. In an automobile, about 20% of engine power is spent to overcome frictional force. Second is machinery parts destruction. Machinery parts destruction. Friction causes wear and tear of machinery parts and types. Third is undesirable noise and heat production. Undesirable noise and heat production. Friction in machines or engines produces noise and heat, which may damage the machines. This produced heat and noise is no use. Fourth is engine jamming. Engine jamming. Jamming means we have heard that engine jam हो गया वगैरह, that time it's stuck. The engines of motorbikes, cars, etc. seize or jam if there is shortage of oil. Fifth is efficiency reduction. Efficiency reduction. Friction reduces the performance of efficiency of machines. Sixth is speed reduction. Speed reduction. The force of friction between air and moving vehicles like buses, cars, trains, aeroplanes, rockets, etc. restricts their speed. Now, advantages of friction. First, to stop vehicles. According, because of only of friction, we can stop the vehicles. We apply brakes, it causes friction, and then only the vehicle stops. Otherwise, we will not be able to use vehicles. Second, to write. To write. Now I am writing the things on board, and I am having friction between the board and this part of the marker. We can't see that this is having friction because from far we can always see that the board is a smooth surface, but always after seeing it in microscope, nothing is smooth. They have at least a little bit roughness in them, but we cannot see it through our naked eyes. For the striking of the two bodies, for the sticking of the two bodies. For the sticking of the two bodies. No two bodies will stuck to each other if there is no friction between the surfaces. Fourth, to hold the objects. To hold the objects. हम कोई ऑब्जेक्ट को अगर पकड़ते हैं, मैंने ये मार्कर को पकड़ा है तो मेरे हाथ में और मार्कर में फ्रिक्शन हो रहा है. To drive a pulley. To drive a pulley. Pulley means अगर ये वेल है, इसमें से पानी निकाल रहे हैं अगर हम ये बकेट से रस्सी के सहारे, तो हमारे हाथ में हम इसको ऐसे से खींचते हैं तो हमारे हाथ में रस्सी के साथ फ्रिक्शन हो रहा है, उसी के वजह से हम पानी निकाल पा रहे हैं वेल से. टू स्टिक अ मैच स्टिक. टू लाइट अ मैच स्टिक. टू लाइट अ मैच स्टिक. लाइट मैच स्टिक को लाइट करना है तो फिर वो रेडिश पार्ट से we strike the matchstick against the rough surface of a matchbox. The friction between the chemical on the head of the matchstick and the rough surface of the matchbox produces heat which causes ignition of the matchstick. Seventh is to tie a knot. Tie a knot. Ropes and strings cannot be tied into knots to hold objects together if there is no friction. To avoid sleeping. To avoid sleeping. Sand is sprayed on wet ground to increase friction and to avoid sleeping. Motion of vehicles, fixing of nail bottles, etc. There are many more examples of advantages of friction. If there won't be friction, the life could not exist. That's why we can call friction as a necessary evil, which is necessary, but it also causes some disadvantages, but it is very necessary. I hope you have understood till this. Let us meet in part 5 with some questions based on this and on this solution on this disadvantages like control of friction. I hope you have understood till this. Also in part 5 we will learn ways to increase friction. Till that you have understood till this. Let us meet in part 5. Thank you for watching.